let's get serious now. So the judges, 3 incredible judges. We'll start, ladies first, with another unblinded mastery student, Michelle Witman. Michelle is the founder and principal consultant at Asset-Based Consulting. Hello, Michelle.
Hello, I'm very excited to be here.
Michelle,
and thrilled to have gotten in on the early rounds of the Real Raw as a judge.
Thank you, Michelle. Michelle, also thank you for your amazing video. You want to share a little bit, because you had some big time breakthroughs and you said some beautiful things. You mind sharing for a quick 15 to 30 seconds?
Sure, very quickly, to keep it brief. I had signed up for the Real Raw, not for the Real Raw, for the mastery class prior to the COVID pandemic. And as we've moved into the pandemic and we've become a family unit living and working and going to school inside our house, we have noticed a complete transference of all of the language and all of the learning onto our children, Shayna and Karen, and it has been incredibly magical. I'm beyond grateful, actually, that they're watching me learn. They are watching me on my A game. They are watching me get out of my comfort zone. They are watching upstairs right now, watching their mom go into new spaces and innovate myself. I know it is quite remarkable. And I will say, if I can, oh, they're waving to you guys, hey. I will say that last week after Sean's Q&A, I went into our bedroom and found my daughter speaking to my husband, and she was just like, so Dad, you know, in order for us to reach an agreement formation, my thinking is it's like frictionless if you allow me to sleep in your bed this evening, and she ended up in the bed. So we're practicing, but we're seeing it with our children, and it has completely changed the way our family communicates with one another. And I am forever grateful for this opportunity.
Thank you. And you also have an acceleration though in number of meetings, correct or no?
I have had an acceleration in number of meetings, and we have been picking up actually new corporate clients.
So you had massive, you want to share that quickly and then we'll go on.
Me?
Yeah, like your acceleration. Yeah, just for 10 seconds. It went from what to what? What happened?
Sure. So we are in the process of growing our business. We have picked up new clients, and we have branched into the real estate world in terms of building inclusive practices for the consumer experience and also for the internal employee experience in the name of building frictionless spaces for people with disabilities.
No, fantastic. And you've seen real acceleration in the number of monthly sales meetings and sales, correct, Michelle?
Absolutely.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Who else we got, Jay?
Next up, we have Eric Nowoslawski, the VP of Gateway Regional Chamber of Commerce. Eric, welcome. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Eric, how are you, brother? And how many members you have in the Gateway?
We have over 1,300 members in the Gateway, and I'm doing great because as of this morning at 10 a.m., the board of directors, well, actually at the beginning of the month, the board of directors wiped my sales quota off, and they said, don't worry about it, coronavirus. And as of 10 a.m. today, I surpassed my sales quota. And I attribute a lot of that to the motivation of Unblinded and the teachings as well. So thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, brother.
Well done.
Thanks, Eric. That's awesome. Okay, and who do we have, Jay?
We have our third judge, another unblinded mastery student. Sorry, Eric. Eric is an unblinded student as well. But Michael Smikun, the litigation gladiator with 2, yes, I repeat, 2 top 100 jury verdicts at Callagy Law and the winner of a Real Raw role play extravaganza.
Well, congratulations,
thank you, Jay.
Michael. I don't know if you're qualified to be a judge. I don't know how you got through the vetting system, but you should feel quite fortunate that you're here, sir.
I've actually bribed quite a few people, so my bank account has been quite depleted, unfortunately.
All right, Michael Smikun, ladies and gentlemen, my friend, my partner, brother, truly remarkable. So, Michelle, Eric, Michael, quick request. So, and I don't want to cut you off. We're going to because we're going to have a beautiful prep. But when we get to judging feedback, it's going to be 1 word, 1 sentence score, right? 1 word, 1 sentence on the positive, 1 word, 1 sentence on the growth opportunity and score, keeping things tight as we roll through this thing because we want to really spend some time with these amazing folk. And we certainly will give you some airtime to give a couple comments at the end, but try to really keep tight to the numbers we're saying. Otherwise, we're going to have Jay go cut and we're going to move on. Good, Jay?
I like that.
Yeah, we're conditioning in the pattern of what the show looks like, feels like, how this is all laid out, because we're about to expand this thing into insane numbers of humans competing beautifully to learn the superpower of influence. So here we go. Well, our amazing contestants, RJ.
First up, I'd like you guys to meet David Gonzalez. David DG Gonzalez is the founder of one of the leading joint venture partnership agencies, Simply the Coolest Affiliate Management Agency, which helps build business clients to generate more traffic and more sales. Welcome to the Influence Off, David Gonzalez.
Dave, what's up, brother?
Hey, thank you very much for having me. I am honored, and I am like, I want to share for a moment what's present for me is how
Please?
epic it feels to be here, because when Jared Yellen first proposed the idea of an influence off, I was beyond mortified. I was like weak in the knees, and it literally made me feel nauseated. And then when he proposed it the second time, he brought it up in a different way. And I was like, well, I think that might be kind of interesting. And then he turned me on to, I said, well, how can I get some of this training? And he ended up, I run an affiliate management agency selling information products, where I probably have over $2 million worth of information products on my hard drive that people give me access to because they want me to see their products so that I can promote them to my audiences of people. And so when he said that I was going to have to pay money to get access to this training, I thought he was batshit crazy. And I resisted it like anything. But he managed to, before the end of that call, which wasn't even more than a 5-minute call, to have me pull my credit card out and pay for it. And the last 9 days have been beyond what I could put into words.
Well, thank you, Dave.
And it's transformed me being here from one of feeling any sort of judgment or any sort of fear to one of enthusiastic desire to assess where I am on the scale of mastery.
Love it, brother. That is fantastic. Super fired up, excited, and welcome. I know you're up to huge things in the world, and you have such a basis for evaluating content and programs, so it touches my heart deeply. I'm immensely grateful. And we're going to have a lot to do together, brother. Thank you. And Jay, we got one last person. Last but not least, the man I have called the most impressive communicator I've ever met in my entire life, and he's on the Real Raw. Who's up?
So we have, I'm excited to announce, Matt Johnston. Matt Johnston coaches founders and founding teams to raise funding and grow their business in ecologically literate ways. He has an extraordinary background in the world of startups and innovative strategies, including Idea Lab New York, Indiegogo, the agency of Trillions, and much more. Welcome, Matt Johnston.
Matt, what's present for you, sir? Welcome.
Gratitude. A lot of fun. Just hearing your voice makes me laugh. There's so much that has happened over the last 4 weeks to 9 weeks, depending on where you are in the world, that makes everything that happened a year ago seem like 100 years ago. It really does. So I'm so happy to be connected to you, Sean, and excited to meet David and to be in this like competitive space, a chance to sharpen something and to do it in an integrity-based way feels really good. So I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, well, thank you, brother. And I want to acknowledge Matt and go on a little foundational historical related to the Real Raw. So it's November of 2018, and I step into a room in New York City after having had conversations with Mariah Brown, Bayman Sakari about building a program like this. And I remember them saying to me like, oh yeah, that's nice. You want to do like a coaching thing? Like, yeah, that's nice. Like, and they were my friends and they were really being kind to me. And it was this like kind, polite, dismissive quality to the communication. Matt, you ever have communication with people that was like that? Like you're stepping into the space of being Matt Johnston and it's like, oh, Matt, nice. Like you do coaching or something? Like, did you ever have that feeling?
Yeah, it's hard to speak into when people are not even because of anything you're saying, they're just sort of habitually unenthusiastic about something. It can be tempting to make up that, you know, it's not a good idea. I shouldn't do it. Yeah, I appreciate what you're saying.
Yeah, and so what I became present to is the complexity of integrity-based communication and how we go from helping people who are blinded to something see what they don't see. And the foundational elements for the name Unblinded came out of innovation sessions that Matt was very much a part of. So thank you, Matt. We had lots of different, yeah, Matt was a part of those conversations, very much a part. And we also, Matt was running that I walked into with Mariah and Bayman, this very interesting room. And as I stood in the room, I was present to Matt's brilliance. And they started talking about at the end of these 2 days, they were going to do something they called a pitch off. And I was enthused, I was intrigued. And as I sit here today, the byproduct of what occurred at the end of that, there's no way we're doing this today without that having occurred. And what I mean this is it created such a level of acceleration to my own confidence in what I believed I knew and understood about influence and communication. And it also galvanized some relationships and identity that moved things forward in a new and different way. And then as I more recently thought about, hey, how do we really help people to see what they don't see and not perceive Unblinded as something motivational, aspirational, which is beautiful, but something for really what it is. I'm like, I know. We'll have this thing called the influence off, and we'll have these real raws. And then the space of innovation began. And Matt, you were very much seeds and roots for much of those dynamics and thinking. And I want to honor you from my heart and thank you for that. And I want you, like, you're in it, brother, but it's not here without you.
I appreciate you. And it's a gift to be able to now be a part of it. Like, now I get to get up leveled out of this human empowerment technology you've created. So let's go.
All right, let's go, brother. So with that said, participants, and this is a key thing, and judges understand that what we're doing is, Matt, David, you're going from hello to yes in one segment that's interrupted midway through, because we teach the formula, and the formula is a process of going from hello to yes. And you don't need to know and understand the formula to be present to these realities. And what it's about is the first stage. It's going to be 3 minutes that it's David, you to Jay, and then Matt, you to Jay. We'll talk about who goes first in a moment. And the dynamic is that you're building rapport, opening the listening, and exploring where whatever it is you're ultimately seeking a yes to, what pains, you're bringing Jay to be present to some pain that you can ultimately solve for him in the second half, which is where you deliver your story, your heroic unique identity, your agreement formation. And so you don't have to follow that model, of course, but what really will be judged in these two segments is the first segment is rooted in how much Jay is open to your listening and present to some wanting of something, some pain. That's the first segment. The judge is what you're looking for. The second segment is how appropriately the contestants, Matt, David, deliver on stepping into their ability to solve that pain and reach a yes agreement. So the only thing you really need to think about is, what is the yes that you're seeking, Matt and David, and then bifurcating into those two splits. Matt or David, do you have any questions about that?
I do.
Yeah, please.
I don't have a clear sense of what to sell Jay because I don't have any context for. I guess I know that that'll be revealed in the pain.
Yeah.
You know.
No. So David, you could be approached.
Am I supposed to make up something that I could sell him based on?
Well, not sell him. So are you seeking a yes? Just forget the word sell.
Okay.
Is there a yes you're seeking in the world? You have lots of content on your platform.
Oh, okay.
Are you seeking speaking opportunity? Are you seeking that for Jay to look into your platform content? Or are you seeking more content or an ecosystem merger of some sort? Is that making sense? There's a yeses that you're seeking in the world and that you can put out with some intention around it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Okay, I got it now.
Better? Great. And Matt, you're good? More questions?
Excellent. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. David, where are you sitting physically today? Like what state, city?
Austin, Texas.
Okay. You are the away team because I don't believe Matt Johnston is quite as far away as Austin, Texas. Matt, where are you?
I'm in Hudson Valley, Rhinebeck, New York.
Fantastic. So David, I'm going to put either a 1 or a 2, since you're the away team, you'll call it, under the table. Is it a 1 or a 2? It's like a coin toss. What do you got?
2.
It is a 2. So here's how it works. You win the toss, and it's your choice now. If you go second in the first round, then Matt chooses, you go second in the first round, then Matt chooses where he goes in the second round. If you go first, you still retain that choice. So would you like to go first and retain your choice, or would you like to go second in the first round?
I'll go first and retain my choice.
All right. Jay, coming from Long Beach Island, spread out to Austin, Texas, the Hudson Valley, and everywhere in between with the judges and yourself. Let's roll it for 3 minutes.
David, all right, I'm going to give you the green light, and we'll go, all right?
All right.
Let's go.
Hey, Jay, so it's really, really nice to meet you. I'm honored to be here on this with you. I guess let's just dive right in and tell me what's most present for you right now.
Oh, wow. Well, you know what? That's a really good question, but I kind of was just curious, what is it exactly that you can offer us? What do you do?
Oh, yeah. So I help people get traffic in large amounts to different products and services. And one of the best ways that I do that is to learn as much as I can about people I interact with, because I love to connect. So tell me a little bit, like, just if you could say who Jay Levine is historically in 30 seconds, how would you sum that up?
Wow. So me and my wife, we're realtors. We also own our own real estate agency in Bergen County.
Got it. And like from the moment you were born to now, like, how would you sum that up?
Whew. From the moment I was born until now, that's a hard question to answer. I am an entrepreneur who has a lot of family ties and really cares about legacy.
Got it. Legacy, huh?
Yeah.
And have you started moving in the direction of building that legacy already?
Yes, I'd like to think so. We could always use some help, along the way, obviously with certain partners and ecosystem mergers. But yeah, we're on our way.
Yeah. So what would you say is the biggest feather in your hat by way of legacy so far?
I'm most proud of. That's a really good question. I'm most proud of my family. Having a family that loves me and, wants to see us grow and leaving that legacy behind so they can see what's possible is really the most important to me. And, being a business owner of a real estate agency in town. And I mean this with David, but I got about a minute left. I'm sorry.
I understand. So if I was to share with you, let me ask you this way, because it sounds like your family is really what matters the most, and how you're tying that into your wife's a realtor as well.
Yeah, she's a realtor and my partner in the business.
Nice. And my family is what I hold the nearest and dearest as well. What I found is that whenever I focus on my family, that I use them as the driver for my work. Mm-hmm. And that's when work seems to flow the most. And sometimes I get myself a little too much into work. Where would you say is the biggest kind of disconnect between where you want your legacy to be and where you want your family to be and where it actually is?
3 minutes.
All right.
3 minutes.
Very nice, David. Very nice job. So couple quick access points. I think you did a beautiful job. There was a lot of congruence in your communication. I heard serious goddess energy present, love, flow, presence. Yes. I like the questions. I think there's a model and a sequencing, which we'll lay out in a little bit, that could tighten the deepening up a little. So, because sometimes when we're going, we had some fun this morning talking about horizontal and vertical innovations, right? So in the same way, there's horizontal and vertical communication. So we were seeking to move horizontally until we find space of vertical to create acceleration horizontally, which we'll come back to what all that means in a little bit. So I think there could be some tweaks in that space, but absolutely, obviously you're a genius, super phenomenal. And we always talk about that it's not yes or no, it's where we are on a scale of mastery. And once we get into the top 1% of anything, that's when all the gains and magic exponentially, right? So David, fantastic job. What's present for you, sir?
What's present for me is that one of the biggest elements that I've gotten from taking the training is that I've had a tendency of getting stuck at real rapport as opposed to deep rapport. And that became really evident. In this, and having the distinction about horizontal to the point of vertical. I actually use that as an example with one of my business partners today. The diamond is the hardest material until you find what's called the cleavage point, and then it'll break as easily as chalk. And that's what I took away from what you just described.
Awesome, brother. Thank you. So judges are going to score up. David, will get to you in a little bit after Matt. So the one and only Matt Johnston, Jay Levine, take it away.
All right, 3 minutes and go.
Jay,
Hey, Matt, what's up, man? How are you?
so you and I don't know each other.
No.
So I am one of the most effective innovation and startup coaches in the world. And I think in this day and age, this time, everybody's got to like choose their spot, dig in and get responsible. And I'm looking to make a difference by making myself available as a coach to people that are either trying to cause a startup because it's what they've always wanted to do, or they're faced with a situation where like, wow, I got to really think about reinventing my business. So that's who I am in the world. And what do you do? What's the business you lead?
Just to check in, I have about 2.5 minutes, 2 minutes or so left to talk right this second. But my wife and I were real estate agents.
Yeah, lovely. And what does 2020 want to be for you, given all of it?
Well, started off on fire. We're still on fire, but obviously the momentum has shifted a little bit. And, we're just hoping that once this all shifts, that we can keep going as strong as we were right before.
Yeah. Well, the kind of work that I do is for leaders that are looking to have a breakthrough in making their businesses attractive to investors or advisors or partners or co-founders. Are any of those spaces where you feel like this year would be different if you had more of that?
Well, I love my business, so I definitely don't want to sell it. No way. But having more people involved in the business that have, high level expertise, that sounds intriguing. Can you explain?
Well, I find that if I think about the end of the year, I barely know what's going to happen this month or next month. But if I had a team of advisors around me that came from different backgrounds and perspectives, I could see 100 miles, 360 degrees in every direction. And that's what an advisory board can make possible. And a lot of times, sort of like how if you want your biceps to grow, you got to develop your back muscles first, and the way that different body parts can relate to growth. Advisors, investors, partners, co-founders, any place where there might be something calling to you is the kind of coaching and support that me and my teams provide. Does that communicate?
Yeah. Do you coach real estate agents now?
Yeah, business leaders of all kinds. And it sounds like, do you have a coach? Have you had a coach before?
I have about 15, 20 seconds. I do not have a coach. I've never been coached before, not officially.
Well, for high performing people, that's often the place to start, is by being a yes to that kind of future big enough that you'd need a coach to go do it.
3 minutes.
Matt Johnston, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic job. What is present for you, Matt Johnston?
How often I'm in conversations with people that like already know something about me on a certain sense. More recently, the chance to really literally drop in with Jay and orient to the kind of challenges that he might be facing was great and helped me get responsible for what I wanted to say quickly. Like if I'm going to leave people empowered by something, what's it going to be? So yeah, that's what's present.
Awesome, brother. So can I give you a couple of quick
Always.
thoughts?
Yeah, my post-it notes here.
Yeah, so what I thought Matt did so phenomenally was right off the bat drop into the space of Matt Johnston's scotoma. Matt is one of the greatest people I've ever encountered in the world at creating a scotoma, meaning a disruption to knowingness, a blank spot, right? And Matt just starts off, yeah, I'm like as great a leading peak performance coach as exists in the world, or something like that. And it's like, whoa, and his tonality just resonated with such congruence, and his energy and his language, that's a bold statement that just seemed very appropriately matter of fact. So Matt, that is one of the great geniuses you hold, is to so immediately, through your congruence and language and just presence and energetic transference, have people become aware, or becoming, their knowingness disrupted, and their awareness that they're in the presence of something very unique, which they become curious about. So we often talk that rapport, the place we want to be create rapport around, is disrupting knowingness and having people present to your uniqueness and pull. So Matt, I just want to acknowledge you for that.
Yeah, got it. Thanks for the feedback.
Thank you. And I would say that there's an access point, which we'll look into, in sort of becoming present, I think we can see the board hopefully, to people's pain or wanting of something, with a little depth around that. And I want to, in 3 minutes, it's super challenging and complicated to get to, but I want to see if we can create some access to that, because Matt has so many incredible solutions. And one of the great challenges we have in going from hello to yes is that people fear, more than being present to the received benefit, they fear making a mistake, failing, being rejected. So that counterbalancing of a wanting pain of missing out on something incredible is, let's see, I would like to see Jay become more present too. And I have a little bit of an access point for that. Does that make sense, Matt, or no?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So let's drop in now. Quickly, let us start with Eric, and then we'll move around the circle back and forth. So Eric, so what one word is present for you with David, and one sentence of positive acknowledgement?
So broad. He did a great job of going over like Jay's whole life, and he really nailed that down. That was great.
Okay, awesome. And growth opportunity for David?
Taking that broadness and hyper focusing it down to exactly that yes that he's going after. He stayed a little too broad for too long.
Okay. And Eric, just to sharpen everybody's listening to Eric. Eric is out there communicating with an extraordinary amount of entrepreneurs, often a very rapid and accelerated, what would be perceived to be more surface level type of conversation. And there's always access points to take it deeper. So Eric, thank you for that feedback. And what score did you have for David?
I would say 8.2.
8.2. Awesome. Okay. And sir, for the one and only Matt Johnston, what one word and one positive sentence?
From me, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Compelling, because of the way he just dropped in and he's an expert. I just knew he was an expert, and I'm compelled by him.
Awesome. And potential growth opportunity?
Potential growth. I think he could have asked a little bit more about Jay's life and his pain points.
Awesome. Score from Matt Johnston?
8.9.
8.9. Out of the box. Excellent job, David and Matt. Thank you, Eric. Let's go. Michelle, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you.
I am wonderful. So let's go first with Matt Johnston. What did you have as a one word for Matt?
So I'm going to go with clarity.
Clarity. And positive?
It was clear through his drop-in at the beginning that he is an expert in his field.
Like what great scotoma creation. Michelle, do you agree?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Right. Were you like, was there a part of you that was like, whoa, a little whoa part? Like, this guy's dropping in. Did you feel that or no?
Yeah, and I want to say yes. I'm going over my numbers of words that I'm allowed, but yes.
Yeah, that's okay. So if we're going longer, but I love the tightening. You're creating the modeling for all future judging, because people be watching this, Michelle. So beautiful.
So when asked by Sean, I can extend it.
So it's all good, because we have had some judges go long. So we're just trying to tighten, Michelle. So thank you for that. But how about a growth opportunity for Matt?
So I would say, knowing Jay, it would be incredible to take the opportunity to build rapport with him and get to know him a little bit more.
Awesome. Okay. And score for Matt?
8.5.
Very nice. And how about for David? One word?
Fun.
Okay. And what do you got in positive and growth opportunity?
So David came into it with a little bit more fun energy. And my invitation for David is in the emotional rapport to really follow Sean's lead with the types of questions that are asked. So an opportunity to slow down, sometimes less questions, more, and short and open-ended.
Awesome. And a score for David?
8.
8. Excellent. Well, thank you, Michelle. Michael Smikun, just roll.
Hello.
What's one word positive and positive sentence and growth opportunity? What do you got?
So let's start with David. One word to describe him was heart. Like he just felt very connected and caring. And I felt that his voice was dripping in actual, like true love connection. And I really love that about him.
Excellent. And by the way, Michael Smikun has done a lot of work for real. Michael had a very shifting way of stepping into his professional, like lawyer self at one point, not actually a couple years ago only. And he really stepped in I think it was post Date with Destiny, Michael Tony Robbins seminar, that Michael really became present to the breakthrough of being in his heart. Is that fair?
Yep, 100%. Yes.
Awesome. Okay. And what do you got for David? Growth opportunity and score.
So I love the heart. I would have liked to see you take more power, more Zeus energy to kind of lead the conversation towards agreement formation. Like emotional rapport building is critical. And I've seen people who could spend 99% of their time doing emotional rapport building. And then like in the last minute of the conversation, they're like, so, and the person's like, yes, sold. Whatever you have, I want to buy it, because they just love you so much. And I think that's a power for you, but using more of your Zeus energy and directing people more where you need to go to actually get to an agreement of what you're looking for, I think would help you substantially.
Awesome. And score?
I gave him a 7.8.
All right. Very nice, Michael. And for the Mr. Matt Johnston?
So one word was power or empowerment. I felt a lot of Zeus energy. And so this guy is a lightning bolt thrower, and you felt it right away. So just a ton of congruence, a ton of Zeus energy. You could feel it dripping from him. That was his go-to power move.
Beautiful. And opportunity?
So I would say maybe stepping into a little bit more of the goddess loving heart energy. I think that you establish this level of empowerment around you, but while you were asking Jay questions, there were things that he was doing with his voice where he was like inflecting on potential pain points. And if you had stepped into a little bit more of your loving energy, which I know you absolutely have, I think you would have been able to take Jay to places where he told you what his pain was, and you would have got to agreement with him much faster in terms of what value you could bring to him. So I thought maybe if you just stepped into that instead of the Zeus, you probably would have found more benefit from that.
Yeah. Awesome, Michael. And the numbers?
You got an 8.8.
All right, Matt Johnston, yes. And quickly for everyone, this is a complex, I mean, David and Matt are doing a beautiful job. This is a complex task in this limited time frame to step in, to this. And so it is acknowledged this is a very challenging exercise, and it's one that we often face. I'm going to jump in. Matt, David, cool if I jump in for a quick round myself of getting some access with Jay? Is that cool?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Hey, Sean.
Yes.
Sorry, would I be able to just tell you really quickly one distinction I had when talking to both of them, because it's interesting to hear the scores and then also to hear what I thought.
Yeah.
So I actually felt, and during the conversations, that rapport-wise, I was drawn more to David because of the amount of questions that he had. I do think that when Matt hit me with "you don't know me," that he said earlier, leadership is as an interruption or a disruption, which is also a scotoma. And I immediately, after you said that to me, I was like, this guy's fun, cool, whatever he wants, I'll tell him whatever. But then you didn't really ask me too many questions. So I'm just telling you, that access for me was, but with David, I felt like his questions were great. I wanted him to dig deeper, because I was like, you can't see this, Sean, but his congruence in his body language, like his smile matched my smile I think we were just smiling at each other the whole time. So I felt that though.
Got it. Okay. Thank you, Jay. Awesome. So let's explore for a sec. Ready?
Yep.
So, and again, I may interrupt, I may not interrupt. So I will keep this tight time-wise, but I'll also pause to illustrate things. So Jay, what brings you to this event?
A friend of mine said it would be a great event, so I trust him and I came.
Yeah, cool. You got like 3 minutes to chat, just to connect a little bit and see what's happening?
Yeah, actually, that's just under 3 minutes was perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you. So you said a friend recommended it, but like, what's here for you?
Before I got here, I thought nothing.
Yeah. So why'd you come?
Because we own our own business, and
Pause.
growth is important to us.
Pause.
Yeah.
So, like, hopefully for everybody watching, like, Jay's giving me surface level response, and I'm not accepting surface level response. So we're also leveling the dynamic of like this communication, that it's not going to. We're recalibrating the dynamic of this communication, that it's going to be a real 3 minutes, not like, hey bud, how are you, right? And I'm doing it congruently, so you don't feel pressured by my questions, right, Jay?
No, I feel like you want to know more.
Yeah, because I do, because I love you. I love people. So please, yeah, go ahead. So repeat the answer.
We own our own company, and we want to grow.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And isn't it interesting, Jay, that when we come to these kind of events, we engage in so much surface dialogue. I want you to know that I appreciate you opening up and sharing that. Like, I really do, because most people just kind of like run around in these surface conversations, and I don't know about you, like that doesn't do it for me. How about yourself?
That's why I almost said no to the event, Sean. I mean, it's like I hate the service level.
Yeah, cool. And so I heard family and business. So what do you do?
We're realtors, and me and my wife, we own our own real estate brokerage, so we do it together.
Yeah, and how's that all going?
It's great. Well, listen, it's not always great. We're going through some times right now where we're having to adapt to being quarantined.
Wow, awesome. Can I ask this? Why real estate?
Well, we're about people, and finding someone's place, not just their home, but their place in this world is meaningful to us. And, it's just something that we really feel connected to.
All right, pause. Notice how short Notice how short my questions are. Short. And notice how the shortness of the questions, right, to move towards Jay's why, take him deeper inside of himself and out of his head. Are you literally feeling that, Jay? Or are you acting or feeling that, really?
Feeling that. I haven't been able to act on a role play yet with you, Sean.
Okay. David, are you present to the fact that even his vocal qualities, his tonality shifted, his volume lowered, and his words slowed down because he became more connected to his heart and his inside than his head? Did you experience that, David?
Yes.
Okay. For real though, brother, I'm not trying to like bring out words. Did you really experience that?
Yes, I definitely noticed the difference.
Yeah. So, and my tonality is matching that. So we're driving Jay deeper because it's the initial rapport building and connecting to pain is all about getting beyond the surface. So Jay is not present to benefits I'm going to throw at him for what I can do, but as opposed to that, he's present to like his own world and what's at stake. Like we're putting something at stake for him. So, and we probably took about a minute of actual time. I keep stopping and we're, jumping on the training side of this, but it's probably been a minute, Jay. Is that fair? About a minute of actual time we spent so far?
Just over that, but yeah, right about that. Yep. Okay. I didn't stop it on time once.
Okay, got it. Thank you. So, Jay, I'm hearing this like access to real estate for, these, because you want to create acceleration for your family. You love people, you care about people. And really, like, how's it all going?
It's going good.
Awesome.
It's going good for us. But
I mean, in light of Corona, I know you said Corona, but in light of Corona.
It's going good, but we need a way to grow exponentially and basically duplicate ourselves. And that's been the biggest trouble, I'd say, outside of anything going on in the world.
All right, pause. So without asking for a pain, when we ask people for how are things going, they'll usually say positive. And if they feel our listening is open, they're getting the Oprah Winfrey dynamics of, I see you, I hear you, what you say matters to me, why she says she held the microphone for 30,000 people. They will begin to authentically share because so few people actually authentically listen. So if our level 5 listening is dialed in, depth increases, pain exposes itself, the wanting exposes itself out of the safety of the listening, okay? So Jay, what level gravitational pull do you feel towards me right now, scale 1 to 10?
8.
Okay. So, and where were you when we started?
At a default, no, so 0.
Okay, got it. So, so awesome. And Jay, I'm hearing scale, I'm hearing duplicate. I'm presuming there's some level of challenge in that space for you guys. It said it hasn't been easy. What's the challenge?
I always thought that what I did was like just inside of me, but what I'm realizing is that in order for me to grow and for my team to grow, I need to be able to show my team how to do these things that we do together, because that's the way we're going to grow exponentially, and not just me have to carry the load myself.
Yeah, and carrying the load yourself, that doesn't sound like what you want for your ultimate legacy and destiny. Is that fair?
Really fair. It doesn't feel like I'm going to have enough time for my family.
Okay. So in our final moment, if you could have it all your way, and everything is what you want and hope for, and it's 150 years from today, and you're there on your deathbed, what did your life stand for?
My kids. I want my kids to know that anything's possible. Anything they put their mind to, they can do. And the life that I lived wasn't waste.
Awesome. All right, we'll pause. Gravitational pull.
10. 9.9.
Okay. Pause. Matt, what is, and honestly, I am so excited to have your feedback. What is present for you as we just went through that exercise?
That people act because of the way the situation looks to them. Like, that's why people do what they do. And your commitment to be connected to the way the world looks with what Jay's dealing with, and the commitment to lead from that spot, I appreciate. Like, I appreciate the power of that when people are given a minute to kind of really look for themselves, and that you asked. I think here's the last thing I want to say.
Yeah, please.
It's interesting how some questions, like, 150 years from now, what's it all for? 3 months ago, that question would have been a pretty rare environment in which you'd have really been inside a relationship of consent to be able to ask that kind of question. But it actually feels totally natural. Like, people got to start dealing with what am I doing? What do I care about? What's it for? And orienting to that. And so I really appreciate that question felt like it had context. It felt like it gave Jay room to look, and he did. And so I appreciate that.
And awesome, brother. And I ask you, Matt, to hold space for this possibility that the access, and by the way, if I could have it all my way, I think I'd spend about a week talking to David and Matt about all of this, like nonstop street. Like, this would be so fun. Like, and I've shared a lot of space and time with Matt already in these types of conversations. So it's exciting. Like, this is fun. Like, for me, like, other people want to go fishing. I want to talk about this with Matt and David and all you guys. Like, this is what it is for me. So thank you for that. I ask you to perhaps analyze, hold space for the possibility that consent for that type of question, exclusive of the corona timing, can be accessed through us truly loving and caring about people, and the depth of our actual listening will create a consent dynamic. Just hold space for that possibility in your teachings. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
You analyze that.
And I am, and it is an expression of my commitment in the world that be possible for people. People can't walk around with the idea that it's not possible. We have to be able to ask and deal with what really matters to people. So I appreciate your saying it the way you did.
No, thank you, brother. Okay, so this is so fun. I hope you're experiencing it. Beyond fun, I believe influence is a superpower. And all change, the type of change that David and Matt are up to in the world, that we are Unblinded are up to in the world, that Michelle, Jay, Eric, Michael are up to, you are up to in the world, like making the world a greater place, solving huge problems, how people think about work, political disagreements, legal system functioning, how your household income changes. All of these things are at mass scale issues for so many people, and very present for some of us, we think we can't possibly have an impact on, and our ability to have that impact or not is on, and from my perspective, is in the other side of our ability with integrity to create influence. And that's what we're doing here. So thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for this conversation. With that said, back to you, David. Round 2 is here. And which way you're going? Do you want to go first or second in round 2?
I'll go first.
All right, David's going first again. Jay, 3 minutes, take it away.
All right, David, go.
Hey, Jay. So, you know, we've only got 3 minutes, and I wanted to share something with you. I noticed that lightning bolt on your cap, and it made me realize that with your desire to leave a legacy for your family, in fact, we've got such little bit of time. Can I throw down a challenge for you?
Awesome. Love challenge.
I mean, I'm guessing that lightning bolt tells me you're the kind of a go-getter kind of guy.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. So have you ever dropped in really deep with somebody in less than a minute
Yes.
that you just met recently?
I have. Yeah. They say I act like I know everybody real quick. I'm very comfortable very fast.
Got it. So here's the challenge. What is it that has a decent to high probability of keeping you from accessing the legacy with your family that you want to?
Can you, sorry, say that again. Explain that to me.
There's probably something out there, because there is for everyone. Something that's standing in between the chances of you getting your dream life and leaving the legacy that you want to.
Myself.
Tell me more.
My own limiting beliefs in what I think I'm capable of doing in the world, and that's why I want to succeed so badly, so that my children don't ever have to feel that doubt in themselves about potentially not leaving that legacy that they've been trying to leave or working so hard to leave.
So you're working harder than, your doubt is causing you to work harder than you feel you need to? Is that what I'm hearing?
I don't know. I wouldn't say it's my doubt that's causing me to work harder. It's my drive, and my family definitely causes me to work harder so that I can be that example. But my doubt may get in the way potentially of my greatness, and I want to make sure that it never gets in my way, that I always am able to break through those boundaries.
Do you have any resources to ensure that that doesn't happen?
I have about 45 seconds left, and we do training and some self mastery and meditation, but nothing that I would say is a.
Jay, I've got a resource that I know will help you. Are you open to me sharing it with you?
Yes, please.
Okay, great. So what it is this training that will allow you to replicate and duplicate your efforts, and it actually works best with realtors. And there's someone who went from having a single agency to having a brokerage of over 200 brokerages around the United States. I'll connect you guys and let you guys take it from there. Sound good?
Yeah, break roll, yes.
Okay.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
And yes, that's actually 2 yeses, a real one and a role play one.
Yeah.
Great job.
Cool.
All right, David. David, what's present for you, sir?
What's present for me is I didn't know what the hell I was going to do there. So I'm feeling kind of happy with myself because I feel like I did a good job. I do care what the ratings are, but I feel I've already won for myself because I did this.
Brother, of course. It's a fantastic job, right? We're having fun.
No, but I like, it's just, that's what's present for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Seriously, thank you for sharing that. And I appreciate you enormously and your confidence we're up to. And I truly look forward to co-creating and accelerating. It was a beautiful job of depth of connection. It was a beautiful job. You were so in your heart. And what I found to be wildly, I was present to and very impressed with, was you were assimilating to the dynamics and applying things that you were even experiencing here. Did I hear you? Did I see you correctly there? That there were things you were doing to pick up on different dynamics that I did in the last round to try to create access to Jay and deepening at the heart level already. Is that fair?
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like I would have been a buffoon not to.
Yeah, so it was beautiful how you did it, and it was
Thank you.
exciting to watch, and that's what this is all about, which represents egolessness, openness, and the entire dynamic of the unblinded world. Because every single time I do this, and I get to do it every day now, I analyze, hey, what was an access point? I know one question I asked Jay in the middle was loose, so I already have that in my mind for next time, like a looseness of a question in between. So all of those things are present for us when we have our growth mindset. So thank you for demonstrating that.
Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. So what do we got? Let's start with Michelle this time, and just roll it, from one word, positive sentence, growth opportunity, and the rating. Take it all the way through. Michelle, fire away.
Sure. So I'm going to say I found David to be smooth at the very beginning when he launched back in. His quick questions worked for him. One thing I would have liked to see a little bit more is learn a little bit more about you and your heroic, unique identity. But you got to the yes. Thank you. Oh, and I'm going to say 8.8.
All right. Very nice. Thank you, Michelle. Awesome. Eric, what do you got, brother?
So I would say excited. The difference between the first round to the second round for David was just awesome. And so I would say what he did really well was going straight down into that yes. It was awesome. And then a growth opportunity, I would say, is to tell him a little bit more about what exactly that service does, because it was kind of up in the air. Like, who knows exactly what his service was going to do. But I thought exponentially better.
Awesome. And?
9.3. So
Okay. Michael Smikun.
So I felt bold, right? And I'll tell you why. Again, I felt a lot of that love. I felt a lot of that emotional transportation. I felt a lot of that goddess energy. But I agree with Sean. I think you assimilated a lot of the critique and both good things and criticisms about the way you delivered the first time. And really it took a lot of bravery for you to not stick to what you know and to really explore something else. And at first it felt like you were meandering a little bit, but then you kind of found your own feet when you stepped into your Zeus energy of can I help you? Do I have permission to help you? Yes or no? And Jay's like, yes. And you're like, I have a product. It's going to go from this to this. If I give you that, will that help you? And he's like, yes. And you're like, then I'm giving it to you. And there was this beautiful, you explored that. You stepped into it. You stumbled a little bit, but then you found your footing and you really delivered on it. And I thought you did exceptionally better. But from the first time, a ton better. And that made you bold to me.
And?
So I gave him an 8.9.
Very nice. Thank you, Eric, Michelle, and Michael.
I didn't hear any growth from Mike. I just heard positive.
Oh yeah, growth opportunity, Michael.
Well, if you were listening, I heard you meander a little bit.
Okay, the meandering. Okay. I just got used to the frame of it first. Yeah. I got it.
100%. And let me give you more clarity. And I'm sorry if I wasn't that clear. I think you were now exploring something different, and so you were stepping outside your comfort zone to try things. So there you weren't that, I know Michelle found you to be smooth. I didn't find you to be that smooth at the beginning, right? But within a minute and a half, you were you found footing. I would challenge you to continue to challenge your comfort zones, because in the way you delivered, right? You stepped into all four of the energies quickly, but you stepped into all four of them. And I think that's why you were able to get to an agreement at the end, even though you had 15 seconds to do it. I challenge you to continue to challenge yourself, push your comfort zones, and continue to operate in that space that you were. Because I think if you keep exploring that and you keep working at it, eventually you're going to feel a lot of comfort and you're going to find that smoothness. You're going to feel more certain in your delivery, and I think you're going to get a lot more benefit out of it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
David, my consolidated is this. Your congruence, your emotional energetic transference, your indispensable elements are so present. Mastery over the formula and a bit of enhancement in the energy space and a little listening sharpening takes you in a month. My prediction, 1 month from today, you're at 9.999. Drop the mic. Everything is there. And I listen, I do these every day, so everybody can hear everything I say every day. I don't say that. It's the first time I've said that. So first time. And this is the 11th version of this. 11th episode we've done. Fantastic. So thank you, sir.
Yeah, David,
Wow.
can I just add this, Sean, to Sean's point?
10 seconds though, Mike, because we got to roll it.
Yeah, 100%. heart is so much harder to learn, and you're already there, right? The other energies, they're much easier to learn. Heart is the hardest, at least for me it was.
Yeah, absolutely. Great job. Jay, Matt Johnston, 3 minutes, go.
Matt, go ahead. I'm ready.
Hello.
Hey.
Okay, if we drop back in?
Yeah, let's drop back right back into, we've already built rapport.
Yeah, I know we have. Ha. I got a chance to reflect on our last conversation though, and I think I left with the idea that I'm passionate about what coach can make possible for leaders at this time, and how investors, advisors, partners, co-founders, those are ways to think about the future of your business that might empower you to start bringing yourself there. But I got to thinking that it's gotta be about something for you that's worth having a coach. And I wonder, out of our last conversation, is there something that showed up for you? Like, what matters enough in your business, in the future of your leadership, that you would be willing to get a coach to go get it?
Yeah, that's a good question. I do think that there's something there. I think, I'm holding myself back at times, and, maybe that's something a coach could bring out that I can't see.
Yeah, I get that. Is there an area, like truth, is there a measure for what 2020 wants to have in it that is a realm of performance beyond what you already know about yourself? Coach doesn't have you, win because you like winning games. That's why they gave trophies. Coach has you perform beyond. And is there some place that when you think about where you're holding yourself back, any chance you could just give me a sense of, like, real talk where that is?
Yeah, I have about a minute and a half left, but I think we might have touched on this before. It's that duplication of myself and trusting that I can teach somebody to be, what I'm looking for in a team and growth. It's I guess a direct reflection of us.
Yeah, I get that. And I appreciate your being direct about it. And I have the sense that a no for you would be a powerful outcome to this space we're in together, as you're looking at the possibility of having a coach. Like, no to coach. But if there's something there about becoming the kind of leader that could cause that could be effective in those spaces, and in particular, if maybe my access in expanding and duplicating myself is investors, advisors, partners, co-founders, and start to think about my entrepreneurship in different ways, if that's calling to you, be a yes.
Yeah, I definitely like to explore all different kinds of opportunities. Maybe I'm just, still needing some more information. Exactly. What would a co-founder do, or what would a partner do for me?
Yeah, many of the ways that the teams I work with start is by looking at their potential investors, advisors, partners, and co-founders. And that would be where we'd start, is literally to create a list of that space. And from that spot, a coach can be really useful at having you be effective at developing the kind of relationships you want from there. Shall we pause?
Can we have that conversation? Can we book that conversation?
I'm going to send you a Calendly link now for your first Pay What You Can coaching session.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Matt Johnston, ladies and gentlemen. Matt, present for you, sir.
That it matters to me that people take a real look at what's stopping them, and that anything that I'm present to the difference between the sense of intimacy that was present in your communication with Jay and the value of having that sense of the pain point, really available in the conversation. When you're being real about something that really matters, it's different. And I do think that there's things that are stopping people in their leadership, and I'd love to be able to create space to have people get real about that quickly. So that's what's present, is a sense of opportunity, like a way to deepen my practice around that.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. So let's roll into it. Michael Smikun, feedback for Matt Johnston. Just take it top to bottom through score. So positive word, sentence on opportunity, sentence on positive, sentence on opportunity, and scoring.
Yeah, I got a lot of fun out of that, right? I think Matt had fun with it, and you can feel it come out. Just the sentence really quickly is I think Matt stepping into his fun energy there made him so much more likable, even though he's already super likable, but it created that magnetic pull that wanted me to hear what he was sharing. And I think there was a lot of opportunities, and I think Matt even felt it, that he probably could have moved faster into agreement formation to get Jay interested in what he had, but he was really exploring his space and almost like using his 3 minutes to the max, like just wanting to ease into it. And I thought that your stepping into the fun energy was tremendous. Your Zeus is always there. Like that is like a lightning bolt thrower is like your innate power. But I loved your use of the aspirational energy. I loved your use of the fun energy. I thought that was extremely helpful. Great questions, great emotional transportation. Your congruence is off the charts, right? Like whatever this guy is selling, he has great certainty and believes in it. Like you wouldn't believe. There's a lot of authenticity and genuineness there. You want me to give the score now, Sean?
Yes, please.
I gave him a 9.5. I'm
Whoa.
buying what he's.
Boom. That is one of the highest scores yet on the Real Raw. That is a big number on the board. Right. So that, yes. So great job, Michael. And Eric, what do you got, brother?
I'm gonna say
A constructive note from Mike. Can I just reconnect to the constructive note?
Yeah, Mike, what did you have on growth opportunity?
Oh, on the growth opportunity? I thought that you kind of like were using up all of this time. You could have moved into more of the conveyance, unique identity, and agreement formation earlier. And there was a little bit of like extra exploration under those circumstances. That's probably where I would have said, hey, look, Jay's voice and energy had given you so many openings and opportunities to say, tell me more. I'm ready for agreement. Now let's talk about what the agreement actually looks like. So instead of the 3 minutes of getting him to go, yes, you probably could have spent some more time explaining more and giving him more insight into what you were specifically asking for.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Awesome. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Matt. Eric.
Yes, so I'm going to say laser focused. The entire time I was with him on his aspirational journey, that everything he was painting up on a wall, I wanted to be a part of too. It was just awesome to see him put that future together for Jay. So that was what was really present for me for what he did really well. And then I have to agree with Mike for that growth opportunity. He hammered that aspirational energy so well. You could have used it to just open up the path even more. But I mean, you crushed it anyway. So it's what can I say? So, and then I have to agree, 9.5. That was awesome. I'm sitting here saying yes. It was great.
Awesome. Michelle?
Which, by the way, I am a yes also. Me and Eric are both yeses.
Yeah.
And Michelle?
I'll start by saying you had me with a yes as well. I would say my word would be, Zeus with a fun and aspiration spin to it. Is that fair? Sorry.
I didn't even know that was a thing, but yes, Michelle, I felt that too. I wrote that down.
Because he's so, like you bring so much to, anyway, so I'm sticking with my formula. And I would say that, and that was amazing. You opened up Jay to a ton of access points. And I'm going to say that I would love to have seen or had the ability to watch you get him to a solid yes in that time frame, instead of like, hitting the Calendly at the end after Jay requested it. So amazing. Thank you.
And score?
9.2.
Beautiful. Great job, Matt. Great job, David. Love it. So Jay, quickly, 20 seconds was present for you. I'm going to go through a quick round because I want to demonstrate something that I think will be helpful for everybody in the context of David and Matt's awesome job today. So Jay, what do you got? Quick 20 seconds.
Yeah, for David, the whole time in both personally, I felt very comfortable. He felt very confident in what he was saying, and the energy that he was giving off made me feel like I was home, and I wanted to say yes, and I wanted to tell him more. As for Matt, like I had said in the first one, I wanted more questions, but he came back in on the second one, and with the fun energy to start the call off, again, that's just my personality, but like I'm a sucker for it, and like I wanted to just like talk and hang out and be friends and like whatever. You had me way earlier, and I was trying to be difficult a little bit, but you had me way earlier on the second call, so great job.
Awesome. So let me jump in real quick. So let's pick up where we were, Jay. Ready?
Yep, ready.
So Jay, like kids, family, legacy, generations to come, challenges scaling as obstacle to all of this. That's what I'm hearing. Yes?
Yes. Yes.
Would it be okay? And I know we got about 2 minutes and 2.5 minutes left.
Yeah.
Can I share a little about myself?
Please. Yes.
Yeah. So I was lost. I was confused. I had a lot of success. I'm a smart guy, but I wasn't living my life congruently in personal integrity, and I wasn't on a path. And then I just started to explore this like space of personal development, which I'd explored as an athlete. Actually, I was a great high school football player, college football player, and then decided that I needed to create an access and acceleration. And it led me to some of the craziest things. I've had the ability to be in a room with Bill Gross, the greatest entrepreneur in the history of the world, and running innovation sessions for his founders, coaching them, teaching them. I've worked with people in every industry imaginable, including the United States government, to create acceleration, duplication, and transferability. But none of that is all that impressive. What is the thing with me is my heart is for people. And when I use words like founder, advisor, investor, partner, what all that simply means is that there's ownership of a thing, right? Like you have ownership, your people have ownership, and the access to their growth and scaling is rooted in their belief in the ownership potential. And then exciting others maybe to come in and put money or not. But the greatest asset you'll ever have is the business you grow, that you put your heart, your soul into. And it's also the one that people don't capture and transfer most likely. And that's like down the road. But the work I do is in this space of creating the legacy, the dreams, and the potential for people. So my question, I know you've never had a coach before, but my question is, if you believed that we can co-create that magic together, would you be willing to accelerate forward? How would you feel about working with me to support you in doing that?
Yeah, I mean, I've never had a coach, I said before, but I've had sports coaches, and you just spoke to me like we were about to get onto the baseball field, and I'm like incredibly excited. So if that's what coaches mean, it sounds great.
Yeah. And so, and final thing, I think you know that guy, Smikun-Callagy, a little bit. You're in his program, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So he's a friend of mine. And he came off the stage at a Tony Robbins seminar, and everybody was giving him beautiful accolades and saying nice things. And quite frankly, they say those things to most people get off stage. But Sean did a good job on his scale. And I knew he hadn't done all he could do. And we had a conversation that he credits me with speaking on that stage 5 more consecutive times and setting records for platinum partnership sales and doing things that I'll tell you what his words are, because you know him, that wouldn't have happened without my coaching and access. So I don't know that I agree with that, but that's what he says. And that's who you're getting if you work with me. So you ready to roll?
Ready to roll.
Okay. Matt, what is present for you as I roll into my Matt Johnston greatness?
I appreciate it. It's fun. It was like a little bit of Inception. It's like a dude playing a dude, playing a dude, playing another dude. So there's a little bit of that. But there's a willingness to make myself available to people, like a willingness to be real about the size of what I'm wanting to give away, and hearing it as you would say it or as it lives for you is something to take away and reflect on. So right. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Michelle, so you gave Matt beautiful score. If Matt had demonstrated his unique identity that way, because that is who he is, right? What would his score have been? I want an honest answer. Don't give me higher. Don't say it because I'm me. Like what honest number?
I would say 9.8.
Okay. Eric?
Yeah, I would agree. It would go up to that 9.8, 9.7. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Michael?
He had to drop, it looks
off
like.
The charts.
Off the charts.
So give me a number.
Thanks.
Oh. Mike, you there? Oh, you had to go. So, okay. So Matt, point is that people don't know who you are unless you tell them, and that's the truth. David, people don't know who you are unless you tell them, and that's the truth. And Matt and David, and all you find, you are rock stars, and all you find folks out there have greatness inside of you that you've been taught to hold and hide and not step into. And the whole dynamic of integrity-based human influence is you supporting people in unconditional love with boundaries to step into their greatness. And then they will reciprocally permit you to, with integrity, reveal yours. And that's when influencers influence influencers to merge ecosystems to make the world a greater place. Matt, any final words from you, or what final words from you, sir, to send these people off?
Love.
Awesome, brother. David?
Truth.
Love, truth, Matt Johnston, David, so appreciate both of you at the highest level. Have an amazing day. Everybody, this is the Real Raw Role Play. Share this. If you want to be a judge, you have somebody that you think can be on this and move forward and crush the world and teach people in truth and in love. That's what this is all about. Integrity-based influence is a superpower. We have it here. You learn it here. Have a beautiful and awesome day. Again, David, Matt, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.